Avoid these outfit mistakes on cruise embarkation day. Picture this. You've been planning your cruise for months, your bags are packed, and you're finally at the terminal ready to board your dream vacation. But as you approach the check-in counter, the agent takes one look at your outfit and says, "I'm sorry, but you can't board the ship dressed like that. Your flip-flops, tank top, and shorts that seem perfect for a beach vacation have just become the reason you're denied boarding until you find appropriate clothing." This nightmare scenario is happening to more cruisers than you'd think, and it's completely avoidable if you know what cruise lines are actually looking for on embarkation day. I've witnessed passengers get turned away, delayed for hours, or forced to buy overpriced clothing at terminal shops just because they made simple outfit mistakes that nobody warned them about. After more than 45 cruises and countless hours observing embarkation processes, I've identified the most common clothing mistakes that can ruin your boarding experience. Some of these rules have been tightened recently. Others are enforced inconsistently depending on which cruise line you're sailing. And a few, well, they're so specific that even travel agents don't know about them. Today, I'm revealing every embarkation day outfit mistake you need to avoid, what cruise lines are actually looking for, and how to dress for smooth, hassle-free boarding that gets your vacation started on the right foot. Before we dive into these cruise-saving fashion tips, hit that subscribe button because looking the part is just as important as having the right documents when it comes to cruise boarding. The big one, the footwear fiasco. Let's start with the mistake that catches the most people off guard: inappropriate footwear. You might think flip-flops and sandals are perfect for a cruise, but many cruise lines have strict closed-toe shoe requirements for embarkation day. Here's what happened to Mark from Texas. He showed up to Royal Caribbean in flip-flops, board shorts, and a tank top, thinking he was dressed perfectly for a Caribbean cruise. Security wouldn't let him board until he found closed-toe shoes. The terminal gift shop charged him $45 for cheap sneakers that would have cost $15 at home. The reasoning is safety during the boarding process. Cruise terminals have metal gangways, steep ramps, and lots of luggage traffic. Cruise lines want to minimize injury liability, so they require protective footwear during embarkation. But here's where it gets confusing. Some cruise lines allow sandals if they have ankle straps or back straps. Others require completely closed shoes. Norwegian is generally more relaxed about footwear than Royal Caribbean. Celebrity has different standards for different ships. The enforcement is inconsistent too. I've seen passengers in identical sandals get different treatment from security agents on the same day. It depends on who's working, how busy they are, and sometimes just their mood. The tank top trap. This one catches men more than women, but both genders need to be careful. Many cruise lines prohibit tank tops, sleeveless shirts, and what they call inappropriate casual wear during embarkation. The definition of tank top varies wildly between cruise lines. Some prohibit any sleeveless shirt on men. Others allow sleeveless shirts but not traditional tank tops. A few have different rules for different areas of the ship during boarding. I watched a family get held up for 30 minutes while the father had to buy a t-shirt from the terminal shop. His sleeveless gym shirt was perfectly appropriate for vacation, but violated Royal Caribbean's embarkation dress code. Women's tank tops face less scrutiny, but extremely revealing tops, spaghetti straps, or anything showing too much cleavage can cause problems. The standards are subjective and often depend on which security agent you encounter. The shorts length controversy. This is where cruise dress codes get really subjective and problematic. Some cruise lines have unwritten rules about shorts length that aren't clearly communicated, but are definitely enforced. The general rule is that shorts should be appropriate length. But what does that mean? I've seen passengers in mid-thigh shorts get questioned, while others in shorter shorts walk through without problems. The enforcement seems to depend on the passenger's age, gender, and the particular security agent's interpretation. Teen passengers face the most scrutiny. Parents are getting surprised when their teenagers' shorts that are perfectly acceptable at school get flagged by cruise security. The standards seem stricter for younger passengers than adults. Hot pants, short shorts, and anything that could be considered club wear will definitely cause problems. But the line between acceptable and unacceptable isn't clearly defined, leaving passengers guessing. The swimwear mistake. You'd think this would be obvious, but apparently it's not. People show up to cruise embarkation in swimwear, cover-ups, and beach attire, thinking they're dressed appropriately for a cruise vacation. Bikinis, swim trunks worn as shorts, beach cover-ups as actual clothing, and flip-flops with swimming attire are all prohibited during embarkation. Even if you're planning to hit the pool immediately after boarding, you need to dress appropriately for the boarding process. I've seen women get turned away for wearing bikini tops with shorts, thinking it was acceptable vacation attire. Men wearing only swim trunks and flip-flops get stopped immediately. The rule is simple. Dress like you're going to a casual restaurant, not like you're already at the beach. You can change into beach attire once you're on the ship. The formal wear confusion. On the opposite end of the spectrum, some passengers overdress for embarkation, thinking they need to look fancy. While being overdressed won't get you denied boarding, it can make your embarkation experience unnecessarily uncomfortable. I've seen passengers in full formal wear, suits, evening dresses, high heels, struggling through the boarding process. They're uncomfortable, their clothes get wrinkled from sitting and waiting, and they look out of place among casually dressed passengers. Embarkation day is about comfort and practicality. Save the formal wear for formal nights once you're on the ship. Dress nicely but comfortably for the boarding process. The baggy clothing security issue. This is a newer concern that many passengers don't know about. Extremely baggy clothing, oversized hoodies, and bulky jackets can cause security delays during the screening process. Security agents may ask you to remove large jackets or hoodies for additional screening. Clothing with lots of pockets, oversized fits, or bulky designs can trigger additional security checks that slow down your boarding. The goal isn't to look suspicious, it's to dress in a way that makes security screening quick and efficient. Fitted but comfortable clothing moves you through security faster than baggy, bulky outfits. The logo and message problem. Clothing with inappropriate messages, offensive logos, or controversial statements can cause embarkation problems. This includes political messages, profanity, drug references, or anything cruise lines consider inappropriate for a family environment. I've seen passengers asked to cover up or change shirts with messages that cruise lines found objectionable. The standards are conservative and err on the side of caution for family-friendly environments. Even seemingly innocent messages can cause problems if they're misinterpreted or considered inappropriate by security staff. It's safer to avoid clothing with any messages or controversial graphics. The jewelry and accessories mistake. Excessive jewelry, large belt buckles, and bulky accessories can slow down security screening and create embarkation delays. While you won't be denied boarding, you might face additional screening time. Remove large jewelry before going through security screening. Avoid belts with large metal buckles. Keep accessories minimal and easy to remove if needed for security checks. The goal is efficient screening, not making a fashion statement. Save the statement jewelry for once you're on the ship. Temperature-related mistakes. This is where many passengers make critical errors. They dress for their destination weather instead of embarkation day weather. If you're leaving from New York in February for a Caribbean cruise, you can't board in shorts and flip-flops just because you're going somewhere warm. Dress appropriately for the departure port weather, then pack tropical clothes for once you're on the ship. Bring layers that you can remove as you travel to warmer destinations. I've seen passengers shivering through embarkation because they dressed for their destination instead of their departure location. It's miserable and completely avoidable. The luggage handling outfit error. Many passengers forget that embarkation day involves lots of walking, standing, and luggage handling. Choosing uncomfortable shoes, restrictive clothing, or impractical outfits makes the boarding process unnecessarily difficult. Wear comfortable walking shoes that you can stand in for hours. Choose clothing that allows easy movement for handling luggage and navigating stairs and ramps. Consider that you might be walking long distances in cruise terminals, standing in lines for extended periods, and dealing with stairs and escalators. Dress for comfort and practicality. The cultural sensitivity issue. If you're cruising from international ports, research local cultural expectations for appropriate dress. What's acceptable in Miami might not be appropriate in Dubai or Singapore. Some ports have stricter dress codes for entering the terminal building. Others have cultural expectations about covered shoulders or longer hemlines. Research your departure port's cultural norms. International cruise terminals often have stricter dress codes than U.S. ports. Be prepared for more conservative requirements when cruising from certain international locations. What cruise lines actually want to see. After observing hundreds of embarkation processes, here's what cruise lines are actually looking for in passenger attire. Clean, neat appearance that suggests you'll be a respectful passenger. Comfortable but appropriate clothing that shows you understand this is a vacation, but also a shared public space. Practical footwear that reduces injury liability during boarding. Clothing that allows efficient security screening without delays or complications. Conservative approach to revealing clothing that maintains family-friendly environment standards. Overall appearance that suggests you'll follow ship rules and dress codes once on board. The smart embarkation day outfit formula. Based on years of observation and cruise line feedback, here's the ideal embarkation day outfit formula. Comfortable closed-toe shoes that you can walk in for hours. Khakis, nice jeans, or casual pants. Avoid shorts if you're unsure about the cruise line's standards. Collared shirt or nice t-shirt. Avoid tank tops, sleeveless shirts, or anything with questionable messages. Light jacket or cardigan that you can remove if it gets warm. Minimal jewelry and accessories that won't slow down security screening. Layers that allow you to adjust for temperature changes throughout the day. Cruise line specific considerations. Different cruise lines have different standards, and it pays to know what you're dealing with. Royal Caribbean tends to be strictest about footwear and tank tops. Norwegian is generally more relaxed but still has standards. Celebrity falls somewhere in the middle with smart casual expectations. Luxury cruise lines like Regent or Silversea have higher dress code expectations even for embarkation. River cruise lines often have more relaxed standards than ocean cruises. Research your specific cruise line's dress code policies before packing. When in doubt, err on the side of slightly overdressed rather than underdressed. The terminal shopping trap. Cruise terminals often have overpriced clothing shops that cater to passengers who made embarkation outfit mistakes. Avoid this expensive trap by planning ahead. Terminal shops charge premium prices for basic clothing items. A $10 t-shirt at home costs $25 to $35 in terminal shops. Simple sandals that cost $15 elsewhere sell for $40 to $50 in cruise terminals. The selection is limited and quality is often poor. You're paying premium prices for emergency clothing that you could have packed for free. Climate and weather strategy. Plan your embarkation outfit around the departure port weather, not the destination weather. Bring layers that allow you to adjust as you travel. If you're leaving from a cold climate for a warm destination, wear layers that you can remove. Bring a small carry-on bag for storing extra clothing once you're on the ship. Check the weather forecast for embarkation day specifically. Terminal areas can be air-conditioned, outdoor walkways, or a combination depending on the port. The documentation day advantage. Here's a pro tip. Dress slightly nicer than the minimum requirements. Well-dressed passengers often get faster, friendlier service from cruise staff who make assumptions about passenger status based on appearance. You don't need to overdress, but looking put together and respectful can improve your entire embarkation experience. Staff members often provide better service to passengers who look like they care about their appearance. This isn't about being superficial, it's about understanding that first impressions matter in customer service situations. The bottom line. Embarkation day outfit mistakes are completely avoidable with proper planning and understanding of cruise line expectations. The key is balancing comfort, appropriateness, and practicality. Remember that embarkation day sets the tone for your entire cruise experience. Starting with outfit-related delays or problems creates unnecessary stress that affects your vacation enjoyment. Cruise lines have dress codes for legitimate reasons: safety, cultural sensitivity, and maintaining appropriate environments for all passengers. Working within these guidelines ensures smooth boarding and shows respect for fellow passengers. The investment in appropriate embarkation day clothing pays dividends in faster boarding, better service, and avoiding expensive emergency purchases at terminal shops. What embarkation day outfit mistakes have you witnessed or experienced? Have you seen passengers get delayed or denied boarding due to clothing issues? Share your embarkation stories in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more cruise preparation tips that save you time, money, and stress. Until next time, dress smart and board smoothly.